So on step 40, you're going to do adding some online data sources if you choose to kind of work through that. So what you need to do though is to look at the pink tips, and they should mainly be called warnings, I think, not tips. So she says if you don't have a fast internet, don't do this. If you're not connected at all, don't do this next part of the tutorial. And then there's if ArcMap crashes, you don't put that in your document unless that's a pretty frequent occurrence. She gives you a hint of customizing and enabling hardware like acceleration. So let's see if that does anything for us. We're going into customize, ArcMap options, data view tab, and then uncheck enable. So let's try that. I'm going to see what happens when I do that. Okay, so that's one thing. She also says you have to be patient. They may take time to draw. Sometimes they're not available. Come back another day. Try a different one. So this is why I think this is pretty challenging, and things are changing very quickly. So the first one that's fairly reliable are the base maps. So she asks you to download, I think it's Streets Base Map, and that should work pretty well. Now you see I have a fourth data frame here, and the data frame then is going to take on the projection, and this is probably an auxiliary global projection, but let's take a look. Yeah, so this is a projection that I see used almost all the time for web-based maps. So it's WGS84, but it is projected. The linear units here are meter. So this is a projection and data that I can do accurate measurements with. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. So this one should have worked. What didn't work for a lot of people was add data from ArcGIS Online, and I think they had you type in weather, and then there were something called that she called U.S. weather warnings, but there are several. There isn't anything I found that's just called U.S. weather warnings. So, but there are a lot of different weather warning sites. So we're going to try one of these. Wildfire potential. Well, there's short-term warnings. I tried that earlier. I couldn't get it to work. NOAA warnings. I could look at the details. 2016, that's pretty old. 2013, gridded surface weather, marine weather, that might be pretty nice. Weather states, I don't know. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to let's look at the details and see what this one says. Okay, owner, who's the owner? NOAA Geo Platform, short term, so they have all of these. ESRI. I'm just going to try adding. Oh, look, look at all of those. Okay. Let's just try the AccuWeather. Let's just see if I add that. Now, every once in a while, I'll add something, and it asks me to put in my ESRI Online password. And so this may be one of those sites. Okay, so I see it. It's showing up on my map. It's thinking. There it is. So actually, that's pretty cool. So here's one that's working. Now, what's interesting is we were having some floods in California this week, and you would think, but they were more landslide floods than. So here we go. So that's the data. Now what's interesting would be to be able to download that data, and you can't. This is just stream data that you're unable to download. So I want to try one of those other sites because I may not have given it long enough time. So let's just try typing in US weather warnings. See what we get with that. Okay, so map service by ESRI, map service by Federal User Community, map service by ML. I'm going to try this ESRI one. I'm just going to do the add. This is the one that I have to sign in with my ESRI name. Oh, lum. Come on. Nope, I think that's not right. So all of you have an ESRI account just in order to sign up for your software. So here that is, and I am not seeing anything in here. Boy, if I even when I zoom to layer, I don't see anything. So this is often what you get, that some of these online sources don't work. Some of them are tricky. I'll leave that for a while and see if it's just having a connection issue. Let's see. If I look at this and look at properties, it's going to give me the projection. So the coordinate system and projection are the same as this base map. Gives me the link to the web services, so a little bit of information there. I've got layers that I could turn on and off if I want. So it just turns them off there instead of turning them on and off here. I'm not sure why that's a benefit. Anyway, there you go. So I'm not sure if there's just nothing there or it's just down for a while. That's one of those things you may need to wait a little while to show. This one, let's go back to the AccuWeather one that did work. And let's go back here. I'm going to zoom into that layer. Yeah, it's really slow drawing, isn't it? Okay, so we've got aerial flood warnings. I'm not sure what the polygons are. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Okay, let's try that again, see if we can get it to come back up. Okay, so there that is. Okay, so according to this, well, that could be freezing rain or a hurricane watch. So hopefully if you have this on your computer, you can use the identify tool, which I don't seem to be able to find right now. Where did it go? Okay, so here's the identify tool. So I should be able to click that polygon, and yeah, nope. It is not going to let me. Let's see if I tell it to identify here. Let's see if it'll do anything. No. Oh, yep. Okay, so that is a freezing rain warning. So I have access to some of the tools that will give me information. What I can't do, if I wanted to keep this data and work with it, I don't have the ability to edit the data or change it in any way, but I can just view it. I can get information about it. So that's one of the things that she wanted to show you. And then if I wanted to with this, I could, I think, nope, I could change the scale, but I'm wondering if I can turn, if I can make this visible. Let's try this, properties. No, this one I cannot change. Oh, make it transparent. Here we go. So I can make that transparent if I wanted to lay that over something else. And hopefully that will not just make the legend transparent, but it would make the data transparent. At least that's what, there it goes. That's what's supposed to happen. So if you wanted to put that over another data layer, you could do that. So you could have a street map with that under it and be able to see both of those. So I think that was the point she wanted to make. In step 47, she talks about geocoding, and geocoding is incredibly expensive, and they have closed down their free online geocoding services, but there are other geocoding services. So geocoding is just basically when you add a table of addresses and it returns the XY location of where that address is. So it's how to get points on a map. And I did this with crime data the other day. I found some addresses. I submitted those addresses through the census geocoding app, and then it returned XY points for each address, and then I was able to turn those XY points into actual data. So there is lots of things in ArcGIS Online that is available, but it does take a little bit of searching. Or again, let's look at population. Okay, whatever. No, see, this is when I signed in, it just gives me my stuff, and I don't want my stuff. So now I'm going to look at population. All right. Try again. So we're not getting Oregon population. Okay. Oh, weather stations. But let's look at just add this census populated places. Okay, so there it is. And my guess is it is not showing up because properties, let's see what that has on there. Okay, properties, it's a weird scale, so I'm going to take off that scale. Let's hope that will work. And it's thinking. Well, weird. Oh, nope. Yeah, I have no clue why that is not showing up. Oh, no, there it is. I just wasn't patient. Okay, so these are populated places, which now I know why they didn't want to show it beyond 1 to 6,000. So I'm going to zoom in here. There we go. Okay. So if I look at the attribute table here, okay, so I've got the name of places, I've got the state, I have the unique place identification code, how many houses there are in that state. Oh, this is totally cool. And I can sort that. So this data is available to look at the attributes, and what's really sweet is this data is available for me to keep. So I can export that data. Let's go say I want to keep that data and use it for something. So I'm going to, didn't see what I did you? I'm going to cancel that. So if I go data export, I can browse, decide where I want to put that data. So I'm going to put it on my desktop. I'm going to put it in a folder, and this folder is going to be called USA Pop Places. And in saving files in ArcGIS, you don't want to have spaces in your names. Okay, so I'm going to open this now. This is going to be saved as a shape file, which is one of the more simple data formats. And I'm going to save that. And it's going to go grab all those pieces of information and put them in a folder. So I'm going to pause this while that's happening. So it seems to be bogged down just with probably my internet speed. But that's one way you can get data that is online and keep that for your very own. So hopefully that will show some of those skills that you weren't able to do.